Oh, we are live. This is the Love Gurus podcast. There was another January 6th trial today. I don't know why you're worrying about that in the news when there is an insurrection right here in my pants. Let's take ridiculous dating questions now.
Life is going kind of bad. If you find out your girlfriend accidentally banged your dad.
Yeah.
You think your romance maybe ain't the norm.
Not in a
You find out
October.
your fiance has been slipping it to your mom.
be weird. She's like
Every
real
fall.
dead.
Just
Every
ask the
fall.
love
Yeah.
gurus.
Got a shovel and a fucking weird habit, this guy.
It's sickness and in health, my ass.
Especially the sickness, though. He's got a type.
Love Guru.
Oh, that's right. You heard the man. This is the Love Gurus podcast. We're about to take ridiculous dating questions on Reddit and from you guys live in the chat.
Yeah.
So definitely jump on the YouTube live chat. We'll read your questions. We'll read your comments. We're live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Suzanne, how's your week going?
It's great. It's very rainy here in New York right now, which
It is.
is
Thank
always,
you to my guests for making it because it's rainy as
for
fuck.
sure.
We
yeah,
appreciate
very
it.
much so. It's always the thing about New York is this rain is super annoying because it's not cold rain. It is hot as balls outside.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Caribbean rain. Like this is
I like
so
that.
even though we have coats on, I'm wearing a coat because I don't want you to see how much I sweat through my t-shirt walking here in my rain jacket. So and it's October, so
Yeah.
global warming naysayers, just take a walk around Astoria right now. It's like a bazillion % humidity, 80 degrees, and raining.
See, I think you're being a negative Nancy over there because I like the warm weather. You know, I like the warm rain. I think we're living in the golden age of global warming. Like, this is kind of cool. Like, the crops are still doing good. Most stuff's still above sea level, but summers last a little longer. You know, the rain is warmer into October. This is kind of all right. Like, if global warming just stopped right now, if we could just pump the brakes and just sort of keep it here, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, I guess that is a good point. We are sort of in the Earth's like retirement years. It's probably gonna die soon, but this is it's like now
Selfish man.
it's
I don't
just
give a fuck about my
retired.
grandkids.
It's got a big nest egg
Yeah,
of an IRA,
rocks.
and now we're just now we're planning our cruises.
Yeah, to hell with the kids. Let's put the retirement money
love
up our
that.
fucking noses. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. But I am super excited to introduce our two awesome guests. First up, he is a returning guest to the podcast, a hilarious stand-up comic, Mr. Grant Sheffield. Thank you for being back on the show.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Absolutely, man. Where can they find you? Tell them where to find you.
Instagram at Grant Sheffield 1. Also, Clout Chasers Comedy on Instagram as well.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. And second up, first-time guest to the podcast, another hilarious stand-up comic, Mr. Todd Montesi.
There you go.
Thank
There you
Hey.
go. There you go. The champ's here. By the way,
Yeah.
I love how your dog's like, hey, can I get on the mic? What about me?
Oh, I'll pick him up. Oh,
Is-
yeah, yeah.
sweet.
Is your crotch the microphone? Can
There we go.
I bark into it?
He's an evil little dog.
He is very evil, despite looking adorable. He
Yeah.
does want to drink your blood.
Uh-huh.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got two speeds. It's and fuck you. You know, like that. He just goes from 0 to 10, just
Yeah.
like that.
An old dog from Queens.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Respect.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that is a good point. I mean, he's he's seen it all. He's
Yeah.
run the streets. He's-
Junkyard dog.
Yeah, junkyard.
He really is. He's in his Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino years where he just barks at everyone for no reason.
Get off my woof. I like
Back
sitting
in
on
my
the abs.
days, we had the radio. We didn't have these moving pictures. It was better when it was all radio. See?
But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great questions this week. I would say if there were a theme, it's cheating, but I feel like
Fuck yeah,
that's
dude.
the theme every week.
It better
mean,
be.
it's
Yeah.
because that's really what people are always concerned about.
Dude,
Because
that's why the questions are good on this show, man. That's why it would suck if it was just like, I think my wife is too faithful to me.
Oh,
yeah,
for
It's a
sure.
problem.
But-
yeah, no, I like it. These questions are nuts, man.
But also, this is the time, now, we're done with summer. It's fall. It's getting into the holidays. So now
yeah.
people are really trying to grasp onto their
Yeah.
relationships because
Real
they don't
tight.
want to be alone for the holidays.
It's gonna get cold. It's
yeah,
gonna get real
it
cold.
gets cold.
That's That's
it
right.
gets sad.
It's
after on
cupping
your
season.
own.
You got to find somebody you like and cup their balls. That's the move.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
they say every year. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Worm those balls.
Yeah.
Find a
Cupping
significant
season.
other.
That's right.
Why haven't they made that for men? You know, like they have warmers for coffee mugs. Like, why haven't they made you guys like a little? You know, it's like a little pot, and you know, almost like a little crock pot for your balls. Like, why haven't they invented that?
Like nut
That's an
mittens?
idea.
Like nuttons?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I guess
trademark-
I know. Like the reason why that they're off your body is so that they don't, so that you are still fertile. So maybe they haven't invented it because it would just zap all your guys.
That's true. That is a good point.
Yeah.
But they kind of have invented that a little bit in liquid form. They have what? Sauvignon Blanc. Let's hear from our somewhat sort of sponsor this week, man. The beautiful white wine that we're drinking. People, do you need a delicious Pinot Grigio to brighten up your rainy Thursday evening? You can't do better than Barton Gestior Vevera, whatever that last word was. First barrels of wine marked with Thomas Barton's own seal, left from the port of Bordeaux in 1725. This is Game of Thrones wine. This is fucking crazy.
Oh, wow.
Almost 300 years later, Thomas's pioneering spirit is still with us. Our taste for innovation and pursuit of quality have remained unchanged. We are proud to offer you this collection of fine French Appalachian, like the mountains? Appalachian, is that the same like the mountains? Appalachian Mountains?
Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, I
I
mean
don't know if
that.
it's
Yeah,
spelled the
that's
same.
definitely in America. Is that?
There is.
Yeah.
French Appalachian. Everything in America is named
Are
after
you
something
sure?
in Europe, and I'm finding out about it every day. I'm like, Houston is a fucking place in
What?
France now. Like,
It
I
says
don't, you know.
I did not know
Appalachian.
that.
It says Appalachian
Or
right
Alps, maybe?
Oh, it does, but the spelling is like
there. It is
not
different.
the same.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I'm like, dude.
I love
But
it.
here's the thing: the spell check, the squiggly red line, has made me fucking stupid. You know what I mean?
Phonetically,
I don't
how
even
it's
spell
spelled, it
anymore.
does look the same, but it's not
Yeah.
spelled the same as the mountain range in
Dude,
the U.S.
spell check. Whoever invented spell check out there, you made me stupid. It's kind of like once they started
Oh,
selling
oh, wait.
butters in stores, all of a sudden we forgot how to churn. You know
Wait,
what I mean?
I'm
Like
sorry. You guys don't vacation in the French Appalachians in Vermont?
That's right.
Excuse
That's
me.
right.
That's where my family summers.
French Appalachian. They invented inbreeding. It's fancy up there. They inbred, but their picture was on money. You know what I mean? It's very different than our inbreeding here. It's awesome.
Cute.
It's awesome. We are proud to offer you this collection of fine French Appalachian wines that we have carefully vinified in order to reflect the very best of their terrier. Now they're just fucking saying words. Our Vouvray comes from small plots located on the hillside and plateaus. You didn't think I knew that one, did you, Frenchie? Overlooking the Loire, also called the Royal River. Barton Gestion. I can't pronounce any of this, but it's good to get you some.
I feel like the label's more fun reading it when you're shit drunk. Where you're like,
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Because you're getting most of the words right, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, no, it's. I should have waited. I should have done the Magnum of Super New Jersey
You
wine that I
destroyed
could have.
Louvre, but we just let it go. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, dude. Even dead sober, I'm like a C+ on a good day when it
Yeah.
comes to reading. So like, you get a few cocktails in me. I can't pronounce nothing right.
And I think we have a couple comments. Definitely, we have
We
some
do.
returning guests.
We are
that
behind on comments.
Yeah.
Joel on YouTube says, "Good evening, y'all." He says, "Hi, Amy." It's a shout out to producer Amy, who's on YouTube in the chat
Nice.
there. Lizzie on YouTube says, "Woohoo! Good evening, hello, Lizzie. Thank you
Hello.
for coming back." Joel says, "Still waiting for the pic of Suzanne holding baby Jake." That's right.
It's
a
too
terrible
early. It's too
She's
early.
a terrible, and she still won't do it. She's like Cruella
Yeah.
DeVille without the Dalmatian jacket. She's evil. There's no
because-
love in her heart.
Because I don't want to hurt your son. He's too small and
look at her.
fragile still.
I'm too drunk to hold
He
a
needs-
newborn.
He needs to be
I hold
like
him drunk all the
3
time.
months.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
he needs
There
more bones.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
he
he's
needs
good.
like some more stability. He needs like a whole head. Like I'm just saying, the head, the bones. We all know the bones aren't even there. I want to hold him when there's something. There's a little bit more substance.
This is
now.
my baby. He's got 2 big hits. Anyway, Joel on YouTube says, She didn't drop him and make you delete the photo, did she? No. No, if she did, he'd be fine. He's my kid. He'll bounce right back. Lizzie on YouTube says, Jake needs to drink more to be able to read the label properly. Yeah, it's, when I fuck up the words. That's when it gets good.
Jake's like blackout drunk and has like the perfect French accent.
I do not remember any of this hall.
Amazing. Well, great. Well, we like I said, we got a lot of great questions this week.
All right.
Yeah, we should.
I think we should take our first ridiculous dating question from the wild animals on Reddit. People, if you've got questions to write them in to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, watch live and give us your comments live in the chat every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. For right now, we are going to kick off the show with the first question from Reddit.
First question. I look exactly like my fiance's mother.
Oh, that's fucking
I'm
weird.
24 and my fiance is 28. We've been together for 5 years and engaged the past year. He's the love of my life and we get along so well, but he's always had a strange admiration for his mother. He usually talks about how smart and kind and funny she is. I always thought it was sweet because I don't have a good relationship with my mother. He often said that I have the same personality type as his mother too. During our whole relationship, I hadn't met his family because we live in Germany and they live in the U.S. Well, we're currently visiting them. When I met his mother, I really liked her. She's 64, so I didn't notice our resemblance at first. But when I looked at her wedding photos with my fiance's father, I really look like I could be her daughter. Even my fiance's father pointed it out. We both have curly ginger hair and green eyes, and we both have bangs. We're similar height and build, so it's eerie. If you compare a photo of her in her youth with me, we look like we could be sisters.
I woke up last night, he was trying to breastfeed off me. It was fucking weird.
His mother is also a fan of red lipstick, and guess what color of lipstick he buys me? Red.
Such an uncommon color of lipstick.
Right.
Yeah.
Never seen it on anyone else
Dun,
before.
dun, dun.
I asked a few friends what they thought, and they said that this obviously can't be a coincidence. I decided to speak to him before bed yesterday, and I pointed out how similar I was to his mother. He shrugged and said that people usually choose partners who are similar to their parents. I tried to let it go today, but I met some more
I like that answer.
of
I
his
like that
relatives.
answer.
Why?
And everyone is talking about how much he and his mother and I look alike, and that we could be related. His mother finds this whole thing cute and says, "My son messaged me so much when he's in Germany that he found a look-alike."
Oh, boy.
Am I
Oh, the whole family's fucking creeps,
overreacting,
dude.
or should I just let this go?
Yeah.
What should I do? So to give a quick synopsis, they've been together for 5 years. They're engaged for 1 year. She's never met his family. Goes and meets the mom, then sees a picture of her when she's younger, and it's her doppelganger. I mean, it looks exactly like her, which, if that's what the mom looks like, I feel like she and her partner probably look like brother and sister. Like, did that never cross her mind? Like, his mom's like this ginger with curly hair. Like,
That's pretty weird.
I feel like they probably also look like brother and sister. And just now she's like, wait a second.
Yeah, they've been together for 5 years.
Dude,
We look weird together.
how weird would it be if she found like a secret doorway, that had been covered up with drywall? She goes in there and it's some teenage kid's bedroom that looks just like him. And it turns out he's been dead for 15 years. And all of a sudden he sees pictures looking at him and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, this is just clearly that they're tired of each other. Where they're like, do I look like your mom?
Really?
Can we start arguing? I mean, I'm 24 and we're going to get married and we know each other for 5 years.
Yeah.
Should we? Do you want to have sex with your mother? Is that why you're with me?
Oh, really?
That sounds like picking a fight. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just her trying to. It's in general. It has nothing to do with how the mother looks. Like, she is really starting to get cold feet about this marriage. And so she's just sort of manifesting this. And, consciously or subconsciously.
That's a good point,
But it's
man.
just really her being not ready for the marriage.
She's sitting there going, I think I fit in this family a little too well.
Right,
Good day,
right,
sir.
right.
I'm out.
See, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would also depend on like behavior. If she was sort of the one that took care of him. I mean, she doesn't mention any of that in this question.
Yeah.
But if it was something like he also was kind of like acted like a little kid, like act like it was mother, maybe that would be weird. But that being said, I don't know. Like, but because I think it is true. Like, if you Well, I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. I feel like it's opposite. I feel like the people I've dated look exactly opposite of my father. Does that say something about me and my father's relationship?
My wife looks like my father. I don't think it's weird at all. My father looks like a beautiful woman.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm into it.
Oh, my partner does actually look like a lot like my mom. That's weird, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Dude, I don't know what Sigmund Freud would say about that shit if he was alive, but he definitely, he would do way more coke that night than most nights, I think.
Have either of you ever been with someone or dated with someone that looks like a relative, or?
No, but I do like. I am attracted to fucking horrible women. That's it. I try not to, but that if it happens, because all the women in my family are horrible people. Like I grew up with my grandparents. I was abandoned by my biological mother, so it's like I got a whole lot of fucking issues and shit.
He's leaning into women at the end of the bar at 3 a.m. going, tell me again about how the state of New York took your kids away.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Going.
Yeah.
I relate to you. Wow. We're both rock bottom.
Did you just threaten to cut me? Will you say it again slower with slow jazz playing in the back? This is turning me on. It's getting maternal vibes.
So you're saying personality-wise, then that like you sort of get attracted to, because it's like even every person has a good and a bad side. So it's like that danger side. Mm-hmm. Like if that's what it sounds like. Like there's like that kind of danger side at first, and then you get to know her better, and it's like, oh shit, like she.
Hey, I try to find good girls. They end up fucking crazy, and it's just like, oh no, what? Is this a pattern? Is this
right?
What?
You guys are like on the third date, and you're like, why is your bag dripping? And she's like, oh, it's just a dog's leg. What?
Yeah, I think it's just weird. She finds a red flag 5 years into the relationship. Like, you've been to this person's house at least. Let's say 5 times at least. You've seen the mom before. That's
a good point, man.
No, I
She's
agree
never
with you.
seen
That's
pictures of the mom
the
before?
other thing is because she's saying, "Oh, we live in Germany." Like if this was something written in 1954, sure, I'm on your side. There's probably like one grainy picture of his mother.
Yeah,
but
they can only take the pictures while standing still for a half an hour. So
you've never seen her on a FaceTime. You've never seen a picture of her. What are you talking about? Just now, you're like, oh my God, she's also got ginger hair. First of all, also, I don't know. Sometimes people with red hair need to get over themselves.
I think the only time like situations like that come up is like if the person you're dating looks like the same gender of the person. Like your best, like your husband and like your best guy friend look similar. Then I understand that. Like that makes sense. Versus dating, like why would you?
Also, let's not forget, white people do look alike. So,
yeah,
white person from Germany, white person from I mean,
this lady could just be racist against white people.
I think
that's what's going on here.
I think it's very true. Yeah, it's like if you a couple weeks ago they had the Berlin Marathon, and the start of that, I'm just like, I don't understand how you'd find the person you were there to support.
Exactly.
Well, that's
seeing white faces for sure.
Except for like the 10 people like that are winning in the from Africa and that are winning the race in the beginning. I could see those, but the rest of us just look the same.
But the other blonde ones from Germany, let's face it, they were cloned out of a secret lab that got created under the Autobahn about 70, 80 years ago.
It's so surprising you say that, because you guys remember that part. Did you guys see Wonder Woman 1 where they kind of like talk about that? But they so are like, I just feel like they didn't condemn it near enough. They were just like, she's an evil genius. They almost made it seem like this woman power thing, just by the fact that she's like torturing Jewish people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, if society wouldn't have held women down, this woman would have completed her works. It's like,
you go, Nazi girl.
It's like, wait a second, I feel like this is still wrong in the overall message.
Heil the boss bitch, look at her. She would have been Joseph Goebbels if the Nazis weren't also sexist.
And also the other thing as well is that, so yes, they were trying to sell it off as like, woman boss bitch, but they couldn't make her pretty. They had to put like that weird mask over her face. They were like, it couldn't be someone as hot as Gal Gadot. Of course not. No, not a smart woman. Like, let's put this ugly mask over her face. Even
though like Wonder Woman's tough, right? Like she should look like Katie Holmes. She should look like a UFC chick, but they always do a thing where they're like, we want to make a girl power movie, but we don't want an actual tough woman because we want you fellas to still be able to beat off to her. So here's this lady who looks like a Victoria's Secret model, just like suplexing dudes. And it's like, nah, she should look like a tough crew cut. She should look like she's either in the UFC or the WNBA.
Wait, did you say Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes is Holly Holmes.
Okay, because you mean the mother of Suri? What?
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I just thought I was like completely behind the.
Holly Holmes. UFC.
Katie Holmes.
That chick that knocked out Ronda Rousey with like one kick. It was fucking wild.
She's hot.
The blonde with the cornrows.
Yeah.
Now that's my type of broad.
But yeah, so going back to this question. So I mean, so I'll just go ahead and give my final advice. But because when I first read this question, I thought that it was kind of weird. But now thinking about this, I mean, she's had so many opportunities to see the mother. There's no way she hasn't seen it. And so I agree with you guys. I think that she's just making this shit up. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. What do you guys think? What is your final advice?
Before you give the final advice, I think I'm behind on comments. Joel on YouTube says she wants to hold him when he's drop proof. I think that's an older one. She's talking about how Suzanne's a bad aunt and doesn't love the kid. Joel on YouTube says bouncing baby boy. It's a figure of speech, not fact, Suzanne. Yeah, she was going to play hacky sack with him.
I'm just saying, but yeah, I don't want to be the one that drops him and then it's like, oh God, I've got to go to jail because I
oh, you know where
I
that
rightfully said I'm not comfortable holding a baby that small, and then the baby gets injured, and it's like, God, now I'm in jail.
That's right, Jake. Consent, okay? You can't just make a woman hold your child. She has to want to hold your child. It's 2022.
What if I get her drunk first? Is that legal then? Is it legal then?
Handmaid's Tale all over again.
But yeah, so I guess that's not advice, but yeah, so my advice is she needs to get out of this relationship because also why would I ever advise someone who's 24 that's been in a relationship for 5 years to get married? Sure. I would never do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like 41 and I'm like, marriage? Come on. I need $100 million first. And more wives. Bigamy, hello. I'm a modern man.
I don't own my own island yet, and I can barely afford a girlfriend. What is this bullshit?
That's right. Fiddlesticks.
Any more final advice?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think they should kill themselves.
Yeah.
Murder-suicide pact. Yeah. And then write a note to the mom like, it's your fault! Why do you have to be so sexy and look like me?
And there's a lock of the curly ginger hair on the suicide note.
Right. Let's make that a movie into like one of those scary Norwegian movies, like, where
some of those Scandinavian movies are really fucked up.
Yeah, but a lot of them are too boring. I like a good slow burn, but some of these goddamn things are putting me to sleep to where I'm just snoozing past the fucking scary part, and I'm like, I shouldn't have taken an hour and a half to get to that.
And that's the true horror.
I'm falling asleep, so I don't expect anything. I'm like, oh man, they're getting me as I'm nodding off, and that's the real art.
It's actually
with
pretty
those
genius. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I see the thing is I really do like to err against the person writing the question. Like I point out every week. When in doubt, I like to err against these guys because A, they're on Reddit and they're animals. B, this is a source by, for, and about them. It's their Fox News, their MSNBC, their North Korean state-run news if they happen to inherit the whole country. So when they leave out little details, I'm like, well, it's kind of convenient. You know what I mean? Like the fact that she hadn't seen a picture of the mom, wasn't curious about the family at all, to me is the biggest red flag. Because I'm like, you should at least, after 5 years, even if you haven't been talking about getting married, it would be like, hey, I wonder what your dad looks like. I wonder what your mom looks like. You got any brothers? The fact that she was like, I don't care what the fuck he came out.
Yeah.
He could have crawled out of a fucking ditch. I don't care what the lady.
Next time, these guys need to hook up with orphans. Okay?
Yeah.
Orphans, no families, no ties.
Yeah.
Start anew.
That's damn good advice.
Yeah.
That's damn good advice, man, because you don't seem like you're good with families.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You don't seem... And the thing is I'm sort of on her side a little bit, though, in a weird way, because at first I'm like, she's being a little too picky and probably has cold feet, and I still kind of do feel that way. But the thing that weirded me out the most isn't the fact that she looks like her mom. That's like a whatever, like that's a coincidence thing. That's whatever. It was the guy's response to me is the weird part. It's if he just went like hey, I'm attracted to all kinds of people. You just happen to, whatever.
So you're saying the fact that he specifically was like, well, it's really common for people to be attracted to.
Lots of people like to fuck a lady that looks like mommy, like that. It's like now he's weirding me out a bit, and the mom's kind of getting in on it too. It's she likes to fuck a lady that looks like me because I'm so hot. I'm not into that.
See, I think the real problem is too, like, most races happen because everyone had sex with their cousins. So that might be part of primordial, like,
that's true.
Oh, I'm attracted to because, it looks like me and, like, my cousins fucked and my great-great-grandcousins fucked and
that's the whole
within our family
that's the whole point of the book, Wuthering Heights. I think it's Wuthering Heights. Like, that's the whole point of the book is they're like, girl, you're going to marry your cousin. And she's all like, I don't want to marry my cousin. And they're like, bitch, you're marrying your cousin. Right. That's the whole point of that book. So it's like,
commit incest for the family. Don't be a whore.
Exactly. What are you going to do? Go to another hamlet? To find another mate?
Yeah.
That takes walking. Come on.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's just, I think about this all the time. There are two things I think about. One is that we pushed incest so much. And then B is that we didn't really realize that drugs and drinking were bad for babies until like 5 years ago.
And even then, I mean, it is if you're going to believe Fauci on that.
Right.
I'm just saying, think of how...
I didn't make my wife quit drinking while she was pregnant because I'm not a sexist
I'm just saying I feel like there are aliens out there in the universe that figured it out before we did. And so that's why we aren't out there playing, FIFA World Cup with... another planet.
Sure. Have you seen these pictures of like these World War I kids sometimes, and they're just all like look like they're like newsies, and they all look like tough, and they have scars on their faces, and they worked at factories for 2 days in a row, 10 days. You know why? Because they were drinking when they were young. That's why they were drinking. They were adults back then, not like now, where even the 4-year-olds are children. You see that?
Will you buy me a pint of gin? It's my 10th birthday. It is.
It is.
I got to go back to the factory tomorrow. My company don't give you days off on your birthday. They don't.
They lick my small hands. They know who works with the factory machines.
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to say. I felt like there was something in Schindler's List or something where they were talking about, we need to get kids in here because we need little people with small hands.
Exactly.
Get their hands in there.
Yeah, let's make them part of the Holocaust. Little kids, here, go kill 1 million people. What?
Yeah. Well, I think we answered that question. I think, we should just crack on.
Yes, absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. If you guys got a question to write it into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, listen live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you do this, we can continue to buy wine and keep doing this. If not, we will die penniless and alone.
There you go.
And Suzanne will be sober enough to where she's still going to drop my kid on his head, but she's going to be like, she's going to remember it and be able to feel bad about it.
I'm honestly like really glad that this is memorialized in a podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
When I'm in jail later, I'll be like, I told you so!
Your Honor, Exhibit A, it's not my fault. He's a bad dad. I'm a bad dad, but he's a worse father.
I told him I wasn't confident enough.
I can't wait till your kid plays this to his therapist in 30 years. Like, you see? You see? And
my aunt wouldn't even hold me.
Exactly. See?
Little man, if you're on a couch right now, 25 years from now, stop telling lies on that leather piece of shit, all right? God. The therapy, psychology is a pseudoscience anyway. You tell that egghead to go fuck himself. Show it, have your therapist put on cans. I want it nice and loud in his ears. Fuck you, my son's therapist. Oh, he's giving me money to tell him that all his problems are his daddy's fault. So I'll take his money, snort it off a hooker's ass, and keep telling him that nothing is wrong with him. He just had a bad father, and it's his fault that his wife is in the back drinking right now.
And then he's going to pause the video, and the therapist's going to be like, so how does that make you feel that your father did that rant?
Yeah. Exactly. And notice your therapist doesn't really have much of advice. He just goes, what do you think? And then he says it in a smug way. He's got those fucking elbow patches on his jacket. And then he just sits there, lets you do most of the talking, and then charge you $275 for a 30-minute visit.
$275? Are you fucking kidding? That's what it costs now. It's going to be more like $7,000 by the time we get
I tell your therapist he should kill himself. You're a pseudoscientist, sir. You fucking suck. You're worthless now. You're going to be even more worthless in the future.
Does that say something about my personality? What I was upset about was like your incorrect inflation rate. The rest of it, I was like,
I've never been to a therapist except for when the court ordered me to, and fuck him, I was drunk the whole time.
All right, next question.
Next question on the Love Gurus podcast.
My husband wants me to cut contact with my sister because she cheats. I'm 31 and my husband's 33. Months ago, my husband bumped into my sister's fiance, who's around 29. Let's call him Mark. My husband was coming to pick me up for a date, and Mark was surprised because my sister told him that she was hanging out with me. This set off an alarm for both of them. My sister and I are very close. We spend a lot of time together. Sometimes my sister would just show up, and we just go out for a drink or do something. Then at one point, my sister told Mark that she was going to hang out with me again, and my husband nonchalantly mentioned it that we would be hanging out instead of my sister. I didn't think much of it since my sister sometimes does just show up, but I ended up calling her to say, hey, I'm going to hang out with my husband, don't come over. And Mark took this that I was helping cover up for my sister. They then both checked mine and my sister's phone. Of course, my husband didn't find anything on my phone, but Mark obviously found suggestive texts. They hired a private investigator to follow me and my sister around, and they caught my sister going to a hotel with a guy multiple times.
Oh, shit.
Back to now, I'm so angry at my husband, like, that he can't trust me. I asked him why he isn't talking to me, and he said that if I know my sister will eventually pull me down with her and be a bad influence on me. My husband
You should come to the hotel. There's a guy in the next room. He's got a really big dick. You're going to love this guy.
My husband now wants me to cut contact with my sister.
I don't get how that is related, but...
My husband now wants me to cut contact with my sister because he said that we are too close and she will be a bad influence. Our relationship will be over if he finds out that I'm helping my sister. My sister has supported me through so many hard times, and now she's going through a hard time, and I can't imagine being there for. I can't imagine not being there for her. I also hate that I'm so angry. I'm so angry at my husband, and yet not at my sister. Any advice? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in this question, but essentially, it's a husband and a wife, and the person writing the question, her sister is cheating. The husbands find out, and now her husband's mad at her because he thinks that she's helping to cover up for the sister.
Ain't that some shit? She's in trouble for some dick she didn't even suck. That's wrong. That's wrong. This is entrapment. This is some kind of legal thing.
You know, also, I just feel like this is a situation. These women, they are, you know, I just feel like guys do this all the time. Guys constantly cover up for each other cheating, and it's totally like, oh, well, you know, I was just being a good friend, da-da-da. Whereas women do it, it's like, how dare you? Like, you know, you
we
betray.
even have a saying.
You're helping to betray a man, which is like the worst of worst sins. Like, that's the part that irritates me about this question.
See, I was annoyed, but since you did put it that way, I'm like, that doesn't make sense, and I do agree with that. But no, it's there's the saying, bros before hoes. Well, they have a saying, hoes before bros. Get over it, buddy.
It's called
I'm sorry.
It's sisters before misters, but which is a dumb phrase, but we had to invent it because
Hoes
you guys
before
are all
bros is
out
so
there
much better.
screaming in Puerto Vallarta. Bros before hoes!
Yes.
Bros before... You know, it's just so dumb. I just think it's like...
That's very Braveheart of you.
Rally the troops there.
Get me some blue face paint.
They may take our lives, but they will never take our hoes. Are you with me, bros?
That is actually how they bury, like, his wife in the first... That's how I want to be buried, just like in that bag with, like, a flower.
Bag and
put
flower?
some dirt over me.
Yeah,
That's
That's
how I wanna be
poetic.
buried.
That's poetic.
See, I like that. Me too. Listen, if
It doesn't need to be a big thing. It's
Amy,
like,
if you're listening out there, don't waste money on a fucking mahogany coffin. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
So just get the cheapest one. Get fucking IKEA. You know how I told you never to get IKEA anything because it always breaks? I don't care. I'm going to be dead. Get me an IKEA casket. I don't give a fuck. But just don't make me put it together before I'm doing it, because the holes line up and it's a fucking pain in the ass.
So back to this question. I mean, have you guys? Well, and you don't have to answer this obviously if you don't want to. But have you ever known someone who's cheating and helped to cover it up?
I think I have. I think in high school. Maybe.
Yeah. I've definitely
common.
been.
A lot of people cheated in the high school.
Yeah, I mean in high school.
Everybody
come
cheated.
On. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but I definitely been in situations where I've known someone was cheating, but it just wasn't. I wasn't directly involved. It wasn't my place to go up and like blow up someone else's spot.
But that's exactly it. Yeah.
Like,
it's
so
not
in
your
this situation, it's you know, so if I felt like that as a distant friend, you know, the sister is like, well, I didn't even know about it. Like, what are you talking about? You're roping me into this. Yeah. But also, that's her fucking sister. Yeah. Like, she's not gonna, you know, I don't know. Like,
right, yeah, that was my thought. That was the first thing I thought when they did it. She passed the fucking test. He went through her phone, didn't find shit. So, charges dropped. I don't even need a lawyer for this. You're uncuffing me right the fucking now, or I will sue this department. I will sue this whole fucking department. You have no charges. You have no warrant. You have nothing. You went through my phone. You found fucking nothing. I'm out the door, right? And then B, that would make her a shitty sister if she fucking ratted on her sister. What's she gonna do? Yeah. Like, I'm ratting on my sister now, and I'm just never gonna see her again?
Yeah, to have some loyalty to this like fucking brother-in-law. Yeah. Fuck that.
Ask him. Like, if your brother was cheating, would you go knocking on his wife's door? Like, hi, Jenny. I got a little fucking story to tell. Like, that's crazy. That's insane.
Honestly, that dude should just mind his own business. That's
dude, he's an
family
asshole.
BS. That's mind your business, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right?
He's all the husband. I think her husband is totally inserting himself into the picture where he doesn't need to be. Mm-hmm. He's good with his wife. Like, worry about your own relationship before you put on your cop hat.
He's probably insecure because he's thinking like, oh, my wife might thinking about cheating on me too because maybe it's hereditary. They're all whores. They're all gonna cheat on me.
What does the conversation sound like when he's saying she's gonna be a bad influence and she's gonna convince me to cheat? What does that conversation sound like? Linda, you got to try this new thing called fucking around with your husband. Yeah. It's all the rage. Yeah. I know they told us not to do it in that weird little Mormon compound we grew up in, but it's fucking great. You got to try. Like, how does she? Wait, when you're going to cheat, you normally don't take people with you.
Yeah, for sure. It's not definitely like a solo act.
Yeah, it's a solo act. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. I know.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
All the times I've ever cheated on anyone, certainly not the woman I'm with now. I just want to make that clear. But in the past, when I was younger, dumb, whatever, with women that certainly deserved it in many people's opinions, I didn't involve people. I wasn't calling my friends, going, "Hey, you know what I'm going to do right now? Cheat on my girlfriend." Yeah.
But
hey, Chris, you know what I'm doing? Like, that's not. It had nothing to do with anybody but me.
So this is going to make me sound like a bad person. Isn't that the fun of cheating? Is that no one knows? Like, it's no one knows, and you're like, cool, I'm doing this. Like, that's like the fun of it, like the danger.
Yeah.
It's like if you bring your friend, Garcelle along, like, what? What are you talking about? Now it's not fun. Now
and
it's like,
it's stupid because it's like the more people that know that you're cheating.
I just watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's why I wasn't
cheating. Rule 1 to cheating. It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about it.
By the way, have you been to Cheat E? Like the person who's like the person they use as the cheater, like someone's in a relationship and then they use. Yeah,
that's
and
fucking
it's like,
weird.
Wait, what did I do?
Yeah,
you made out with me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I didn't make a vow to your boyfriend not to have sex with anyone that he's sleeping. I don't even know.
I just always think it's so dumb. Yeah, when like the innocent cheatee gets flack for just being a normal human.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're friends or family members of the person whose significant other they're cheating with, that's different because then it is a breach of trust and all that with that person, but like if you don't know whoever the hell's husband this is, like whatever.
But here's also in my head the bigger issue with this is that so now everyone in all four of these people know that the sister is cheating. The husband's like, well, you need to cut ties with her because she's cheating. Oh, so their marriage is just gonna go on as if nothing happens, like she's just gonna keep cheating, or they're opening up their marriage. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like, what's the long term? He's like, oh, you need to cut ties with her because she's cheating. It's like, well, now everyone knows she's cheating. Don't you think something's going to happen? Even if there was some sort of like, gravitational pull to the cheating sister, everyone knows she's cheating. So she's probably not going to cheat anymore. She's probably going to break up with her husband.
And even if she
know what I mean? Like,
it's she's probably,
like everyone knows she's cheating now, so it's sort of like now she's not.
She's already embarrassed. She's already dealing with whatever fucking negative consequence that is, and it's like that's between her and her husband. It's got nothing to do with.
So
with
is
you and
so is the husband then going to
anybody.
say, oh well, don't hang out with your sister because she's getting a divorce, and so I don't want us to get a divorce. You know what I mean? Like this is there's
right. It's fucking weird.
The
it's
logic
weird to
doesn't
think
make
that,
any sense,
especially after. And it would be one thing if it was a weird situation where you hung out with your sister a lot and, went away on weekends with her, went after work, you guys would go off to the bar together, and that is somehow where she would take, like, I get, like, well, maybe she's got somebody there too, you know what I mean? But it's like, you gave up your phone. You fucking went through all that. Now, again, I like to err against the person writing the question, so that's you. It's like, maybe there was that kind of situation that I described. You know what I mean? Because they would leave that out. Most of the people that are writing these questions. That said, it doesn't seem like she skipped. There's a big gap in the information where I'm like, wow, you kind of went right through that, and you're giving me fucking 7 paragraphs of other shit around it. And I wasn't really feeling that here. So to me, it's like you passed the test. You walked through the fire. You let the guy throw an axe at you blindfolded to prove you're not a witch. Mm-hmm. So when the blindfold comes off and the axe is hit here and there and over there, you get to go home. Even if you're wearing a wide-brimmed hat. Fuck you. I passed the test, Reverend. Let me go.
Right. Yeah. I think that these people need to get lives, okay? Because you guys are like,
these guys suck.
Because you're like, oh, this is a whole thing now, to cheating, and you can't. It was like, dude.
Yeah, they suck.
Go watch football or something.
Oh, my God. I so agree with you. The fact that the two dudes got together and were like, oh, we're going to hire a private investigator.
Yeah,
oh, you don't like MMA fighting? Fuck you guys. Go drink a bucket of beer at the sports bar and watch an event. Like,
how about this? Be a man. Go cheat back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Be a man.
Yes.
Go
That's
cheat
the
back.
real move.
Cheat
That's
back.
the real fucking move
Get
to do.
4 broads.
That's what you do. That's what
God.
you do. I'm behind on some comments. Amy on YouTube says, wow, I think the husband is sleeping with the sister and he doesn't want his wife to find out.
That's getting Melrose Placey.
Yep. Yeah, that's a season finale episode right there. Amy says, maybe that's why he's so paranoid. Joel on YouTube says, I'm not one of those guys at all, Suzanne. I'm hoes before bros all day. Joel says, at Amy on YouTube, I think I was the XXX chromosome. That's a scientific joke. Yeah. It's a scientific dick joke right there.
But yeah, perfect. I think so I guess we haven't technically done final advice. My final advice is, listen, your husband is roping you in. Like, I get it that when a crisis happens near you, like in your friend group or in your family, that it sort of worries you and shakes up your relationship and makes you question or evaluate it. But I just think you're totally scot-free, and you need to lay down the line with your husband and say, I didn't fucking cheat on you. And so how dare you associate, how dare you even suggest that I did that?
Right.
That's fucking bullshit.
You passed the test. He looked through your phone, you passed the fucking test.
And so he just needs to get the fuck over it.
Yeah, I think the dude should just trust his wife. Like, just trust your wife. Like, she's good enough, right? Yeah. Like, the fact that he has to get a whole private detective, is that what it was?
Yeah,
and do background and then why are you doing this? Just like you guys said, go get a drink.
Yeah.
Or cheat on her now to teach her a lesson in the future.
Yes, that's right.
Not to cheat on you.
Yes.
Hey, your sister cheated on him. I have to cheat on you.
Yes.
So you learn that lesson.
Yes.
What lesson is that? I don't know, but
I was drunk. I had 17 key bumps in me at the time, and it seemed like a real good fucking idea.
Yeah.
No.
And it's with someone real sad, like a woman who really wants a relationship. So sad. Anyway, but yeah,
right,
perfect.
so
I think
my final advice is, I absolutely think that you should cheat on this dude. I mean, he sucks. In fact, the only people I'm kind of on their side in this question. Out of the 4 people involved, I'm on your side very much. I'm also kind of on the side of the husband and the sister. I mean, this poor fella, he's getting cheated on. You know, he's having to spend his fucking paycheck on a private eye. And it turns out it wasn't a bad thing to spend it on because now he knows she's fucking cheating. He's not one of these guys going, man, I found a weird hair on your shirt. I think it's like, no. I saw you go into the fucking hotel. That's the way to do it, man. If you've got a good reason to hire one, fucking hire one. And it turned out he did. So I'm on his side. I think that you should stay friends with the sister, but definitely cheat on your husband with what? Your sister's husband. Yes, that's right. That's right. You're the only 2 good guys in the situation. I think you should run off with your sister's husband. The 2 of you should have kids that have nothing to do with the situation. Don't let them meet their
very woke take. Anywhere. Very woke take.
Sure. Absolutely. It's not destroying a family. You understand? I'm burning the dead wood. That's what I'm doing. I'm burning the dead wood of this family. They're dead and you're alive. We need to do it to save the forest.
I had to do that when you were explaining your bit. But I get what you're saying. I'm on board with it. I think it's great.
100%.
I think it's great advice.
100%.
I think we all gave great advice.
If you want to make an omelet, you have to fuck your sister's husband. That's the way I say it.
That is the same.
All right. That was our question on the Love Gurus podcast. Now we're going to take another question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you've got a question to write it to the loveguruspodcast at yahoo.com. Or better off, wait. I think Lizzie's got a question based on that last one.
Okay.
Let's take a question from Lizzie on YouTube. Lizzie on YouTube asks, what if my husband is cheating on me with my sister? What do I do? Drink more wine. That's right. She already gave the answer. That's the fucking move. You need to drink more what? Bartone Gestier. You heard how French and crazy this fucking label was. There was cheating going on while the guy was typing this label up. He was typing it up while balls deep inside a woman that he wasn't married to. That's what was. There were so many vowels in there. So many vowels. Just French words that I can't pronounce.
I must say that when it's been years since I've been to Vegas, but the times that I've been to Vegas, there are 2 friend groups that are in Vegas. One is it's single people or a bachelorette party that are like, we're gonna get crazy, and then the other type of people, it's either men or women, and one has just gotten divorced and they're having divorce parties, and and they get fucking crazy. I mean, it's like single people, whatever. But it's like the divorce parties are always, those people are always just so funner.
Yeah, they have to, and they're way more fun for the first 9/10 of the night. But then it gets dark. It gets fucking dark at the end. No. I'm just saying, like, if you're like a general, if you're just like a general person in the club, because I'm sort of like saying this in like, I was about to say, like voyeuristic, but that's not the right word. Sure. I've spent many a weekends in Vegas beating off to divorce parties. I mean, that's my king.
I meant it as again from my own personal experience. Like I've seen these 2, and so there's always like those 2 kinds of groups. I think in general in like the club and stuff like that, and it's always the people that are like have been there, done that. The divorced guys, the divorced women. Those are the ones that are having the most fun and like just absolutely letting loose. Whereas like the other group is still like kind of self-conscious of like, oh, are we like being cool and seen and stuff? Whereas the other ones are like just freely being themselves, and it's so refreshing.
One is like cutesy optimism. The other one is midlife crisis.
Oh, I wouldn't even say
William
optimism.
Wallace in the last scene of Braveheart going free.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say optimism. I would say like self-conscious anxiety. Like if you could put anxiety on a dance floor.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the ones getting married have like who's looking at me and.
Yeah, in general. Yeah. I'm not saying for everyone.
Have you guys ever dated like someone who's divorced? Like being a single person who's never married?
I mean, not like long term, but like I've, like a little bit, yeah.
It's a thing, right? It's very like, oh boy, this drama. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Especially if there's like kids, if they have like a kid with the person, then it's like,
God,
he's got to show up every now and then to pick the kid up or drop him off.
Yeah, why do I have to know about your kid? I didn't breed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I vote for pro-choice candidates. I shouldn't have to fucking change any diapers at all. The hell
Also,
with this.
don't compare me to your fucking ex-husband, okay? Don't be like, well, that's why I do that.
Whoa!
Take it down a notch. Take it down a notch.
Wait,
Take him out.
You're saying that you've been so they compare you to the ex-husband?
No, just
Yeah,
like
that's
a
fucking
one,
harsh,
like a one random comment where it's like you're like, whoa, like
a Freudian slip.
I'm
with
like,
a few drinks and
what are you
that kind
trying
of
to
deal.
say here? Like, like it's like,
Wow.
like, yeah.
But what I have absolutely no idea like the context or the situation of what you're talking about. But I would think that would be like a dig. That's like a dig to hurt you. You know what I mean? That's like, it's like they're like, oh, how could I hurt them the most of like comparing them to, this other guy that I didn't.
But it would almost be more hurtful if it was like an accidental, like I said, like a Freudian slip, a couple fucking drinks. It's like, it's like, shit, I didn't mean to say that. That just slipped the fuck out. Like, that's so much more hurtful than you know what I think, motherfucker. It's
I think it'd be like an
roast me now?
I think it'd be like an intentional, like, oh, you're just like my ex.
Yeah, I mean, I view it that way, but like, I don't know. I just feel like unless you were in a drop down fucking drag out fight, you wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? Unless it was like a really, I'm trying to say some really shitty things to you right now. It would be like an act, like just one of those. You're just sort of in a small argument, or like you're just kind of talking, and you've got a few drinks, and just the Freudian slip of the tongue. Like that's the way
you might just do it like casually, and you're just like,
that's what I'm saying. The Freudian slip. That's what That's so much more fucking hurtful than the other way.
I don't know if it's hurtful. It's just like confusing. Like, wait, I thought this was like a hookup. What are you doing?
Shit, one of those. We've only slept together twice. Why are you asking me what kind of couches I like? This is crazy.
Tyler Perry's Todd Montesi problems.
You're asking me if I want a sectional or a couch and a love seat. This is not what you ask after fucking somebody twice. This is too much of a commitment. This is getting crazy. Speaking of somebody trying to sort of make Freudian slips to get out of a relationship, Lizzie on YouTube says, I need a crazy divorce party. Help. Oh, yes, we got you. Lizzie, come here to New York.
Come to New
we
York.
will throw you a divorce party.
We got you.
In fact, we will have a divorce party for you right here on the Love Gurus podcast.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
We've got you. Yeah.
Joel will come up here. He's a trucker, man. He'll book a shipment to New York. He will drive here for the weekend. Early weekend, you know what I mean? Nice 4-day weekend, Thursday night.
We don't even care.
We don't
even care. We'll make it work.
Yes.
Guys, get here. We'll do a Lizzie divorce party, and it's going to be amazeballs. I've already got so many ideas.
Divorce party. In fact, it will be so epic. They will make a goofy, like, Netflix comedy with, like, Ryan Reynolds or something like that. Like, it's going to be a fucking thing. A Lizzie divorce party is going to be
so fun.
It's going to be a comedy reminiscent of, like, the 2010, 2012 era comedy.
Yes.
Just drunken debauchery comedies. Yeah. Now it's got to have a fucking thing. This is a comedy called Up There. It's about how global warming is fucking us all. It's like Idiocracy without the jokes and more preaching us. Like, no, that's not a comedy.
Leonardo DiCaprio
yeah.
so
Dude, I love him when he's not doing that movie. I love him in most movies. I just and the fact that it got nominated as a comedy movie, it's like I fucking hate that shit. Go back to the drunken debauchery comedies from 10, 15 years ago. It was so much fucking better. Let's see. Amy on YouTube says, Love Gurus support Lizzie's divorce party.
Yeah!
Absolutely. Lizzie says, I am not looking for a relationship, though. Yeah, it wasn't going to be a fucking thing to where it's like, now that you're divorced, would you like to get married at the end of the weekend? We have a few drinks. We find you a great suitor. We have the listeners vote on who you should marry, like a shitty online game show. Joel says, I'm not looking for a relationship either. My wife told me I can't date anymore. Yeah, she's a cock blocker. My wife's a cock blocker, too. I get it. It happens, man.
But yeah, all right. So we move on to the next question.
Absolutely. Next question of the Love Gurus Podcast. People, give us your questions at the loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. Where's my music? Why didn't it start? Oh, there we go. Loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com is where you drop those questions off. Or even better yet, have us read the questions live right here on the podcast by giving your comments in the YouTube chat. 8:30 p.m. Eastern every single Thursday. Let's take our next question from the wild animals on Reddit.
So this next question is actually from the "Am I the Asshole" section of Reddit, which, again, we are still going to give our advice, even though also the question is, was this person the jerk or not? So, so this woman, she told her husband to get over himself because he started berating her for not picking up his brother's son from school. My husband is 37. He took his nephew, who's 12, in after
He's a terrible uncle, almost as bad as Suzanne is an aunt for not holding my son. 2 weeks in a row, she won't do it.
I just also want to point out that I didn't hold any of my nieces or nephews until they were 3 months old. My other nieces and nephews, so...
She really is a god-awful human being, is she not? There's
no
love in her heart. No love.
I'm just saying little Jake is in the same bucket.
Oh! It's cold. Colder than that rock they used to call a planet called Pluto. Just a big ball of ice. Just a big ball of ice in there.
My husband's 37, and he took his nephew, who's 12, in after his dad, my husband's brother, was diagnosed with cancer. He told me that his nephew would be staying with us until his dad completes his chemo treatment. I agreed, even though he 100% did not consult me about it at all. He asked me, and so because he didn't consult me, I told him that his nephew would be his responsibility, not mine. He asked me to explain why, and I said, because you didn't consult me, and I'm not equipped to take care of him because we have never had a child, and I don't know how to do childcare. I still have to cook and clean, obviously, and he said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but going from no kid to chemo kid, like, that's wild.
And this is like a 12-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet actually like a 12-year-old would be easier than... Anyway, he said it was fine and that he'd be taking care of him.
12-year-old cancer kids are always asking to meet John Cena and shit. Like, it's a whole fucking
ordeal.
ordeal.
The kid doesn't have cancer.
Oh, the dad's got cancer. Sorry. Yeah.
Don't make a wish.
Yeah. Yeah. So my husband agreed that it was fine and that he would be taking care of the nephew on his own. The other day, he called me in the afternoon saying that he was stuck in a 2-hour meeting and asked if I could go pick up his nephew from school. I said I was having lunch with my mom and discussing family issues. He insisted, but I reminded him that he said he'd be taking care of his nephew, including the school pickup drop-off. And so I suggested he try to work it out with some family member to go pick him up. He tried to argue, but I hung up on him. I went home at 3 and surprisingly found my husband there. He was angry and he started yelling at me, calling me selfish and unfeeling. I told him that his lack of management wasn't my fault. He yelled, saying that that my lunch with my mom could have waited and that I just chose to be petty.
Whoa, cancer, dude.
Just to prove a point. I said that wasn't true, and I told him to get over himself and stop acting like he's a victim because he put himself in this situation knowing that he wouldn't commit.
So not just the good die young. That's what I'm hearing here.
He yelled that he was trying to do all he could to help his brother out, but it was me who's playing the victim after I refused to help out. Was I wrong in this situation? I think she wasn't. I know that is not probably the nice thing to say, but I just feel like she totally set her boundaries and was like, listen, I get it. You know, he's living in my house. I'm totally going to put a bra on when I'm making breakfast when normally I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fine with him, but you're taking care of him. She set a boundary. He clearly tried to reach over that and be like, oh, you need to do this. And she just, again, reaffirmed that boundary.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, like, I think that I honestly think she's not the asshole. In the grand scheme of things, I think me as a person, I would have just gone and fucking picked him up from school. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I would have gone and picked him up.
It's a small hill to die on.
I'm not saying,
is,
yeah. She, I think, is a dick as a person. But in this situation, I don't think she was the asshole because she did draw a line in the sand.
Sure.
And she said this, but I don't. But I still don't think she's a good person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're not getting a Nobel Peace Prize for this one, but you're also not getting an asshole prize. Like you're just sort of. You're not. You're not the Lannisters in Game of Thrones, but you're not the Starks either.
Yeah.
You know.
So basically,
you're like the river people.
Yeah.
You're just kind of there.
So basically, he made a decision for the couple, right?
Correct.
Like he didn't come to her and say, "Hey, can we do this?" Do you think she would actually like go through it and be like, "Oh, okay, he consulted me. I set some boundaries. Okay." You're saying like she probably was like, "Well, you didn't tell me about this, and now I'm foisted upon this being a caretaker."
A little bit of bait and switch.
Yeah.
A little bit of a little bit of sleight of hand going on there.
That's. I mean, again, as Jake was putting up before, she's obviously the one writing the questions. So what his story is maybe different. But she was saying, okay, yeah, fine, he can come live with us. But you didn't consult me about this, so this is your bag. This is your responsibility.
I think she's justified. The only thing that's kind of crazy is the fact that, like, it's another person in your house, so, like, you kind of got to see what this person's doing at all time regardless.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's a third body in your house. It's like if you get a new plant, oh, I didn't buy that plant. Yeah, but you're going to look at after because it's in the house. Well,
and also, okay, from my perspective, your home is your sanctuary where you don't have to have those small talk conversations. It's just okay, you can talk to your partner if you want to, or if not, like, it's fine, you could just be silent. But when there's a third person living there that's not your child, it's a family member, that is uncomfortable. Like, you are forced to, like, when you're making dinner, how's everything going? You do have to.
Really
I'm not saying it's like
ordeal.
always 100% unpleasant, but it's just still something like that sanctuary is taken away from you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, man. I mean, it's one of those things to where, correct me if I'm wrong now, and this confusion is brought to you by Barton Gastier Vevera, right? But this is her brother that's living with her? Is that
the brother's kid.
Her brother's kid.
So it's
husband's brother.
So it's her
brother's kid.
like nephew-in-law, essentially.
Yeah. And the husband's brother is the one with chemo.
Correct.
Yeah. Why is not the brother doing it? It's his family. It's his direct family.
I think we need to go back to Todd's comment.
Yeah.
He's 12.
Yeah.
He could be working as a nurse.
Right.
What is he talking about?
Sure.
Why is this 12-year-old saying he needs to continue
We only talk about the
with
bad
his schooling?
We only talk about the downsides of child labor.
Yeah.
This
Now
kid
he
should
can't be a
working.
nurse for his father who has chemo?
Dude, my first job was at 12 working for my dad and my grandpa laying brick. I was a mason at 12 years old. I used to fucking mix mortar by hand in a trough with a gardening hoe and then carry them their bricks and their cinder blocks. And you know what? I never fucking complained about any of this shit.
Yeah, it's I
think there's a situation here where, like, this guy probably jumped on stuff before on her, and she was fed up off it.
Yeah.
I think there's some type of, like, long-term thing, and it was festering, and she was like, all right, enough's enough. Now I gotta take care of a child that's not even mine, and you didn't consult me, and now I have to deal with this drama, and then I gotta deal with your brother, this heavy sort of emotional baggage of your brother dying of cancer, and then have to take
wild.
and then you have to emotionally take care of this kid.
Shit.
Yeah.
More shit.
And
the brother should be doing more. I feel like
Right.
that should be getting. He should be getting the brunt of this, not you. You're already being supportive. You're opening up your home. You're doing all that.
But also, again, like, she was, she had a reason. It's not like she was like, oh, actually, I'm watching an episode of Married at First Sight right now.
Yeah, she
like,
was
I'm
with her
really,
right.
She was spending time with her family,
for sure.
And so she was just saying, no, I can't because I've already had these plans. I would imagine that the situation would have been different had he said to her 3 days before or whenever this 2-hour meeting was scheduled, hey, by the way, I have this 2-hour meeting, so therefore I can't pick him up. Like, would you please be able to help me? That's a much different conversation than this emergency text that's like, go get him right now. I mean, that's like, and I actually have like
pretty out there, yeah.
There was like one time like where, and this is like so not comparable, I think, but it's, well, in the sense of like, I tried to dump something onto my partner, and he pushed back at me. And when he did it, I got so mad at him.
Sure.
And then like the next day, I was like, "Oh, I was kind of a real jerk then." It was that because when we cook dinner, we take turns, and so it was my turn to cook dinner. It was my recipe. But I wanted to go out and do a mic, and instead of like doing everything beforehand,
you should have lied and said it was at least a bar show. I'm so on your husband's side right now. I'm so on your husband's side in this. What the fuck?
But I was like, I need to go now. Like, you need to finish this. And he was just like, no, it's your night. You said this. You can't just spring this on me. And I was so mad at him.
Dude, I'm on your husband's side. It's a mic. It ain't even a bar show. What are you talking about?
I know, but I'm just saying.
You should have at least lied. You should have lied to me about that. Forget about the husband.
You know what?
I have no respect for what you
should have done a Zoom show. How about that? You should have done it on Zoom. Should have zoomed it in. Zoomed it in.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying.
Blow him off for a Zoom show. No, I can't. I can't fucking stir the
But yeah,
pot.
It was.
There's 7 people waiting for me, staring at their computers.
In my maturity, I realized that it was just me trying to dump the responsibility onto him unfairly, and he pushed back on it. It's like, oh yeah, no, you're right. Like that is actually like that was a very healthy boundary that he set, which is totally fine. So
yeah.
But you better believe the next time he cooked dinner, I sat on the couch and did nothing.
Yes. Because know this.
I'm not cutting a fucking bell pepper for you anymore.
Suzanne missing an ambush show in front of 7 people is the equivalent of this lady's family members dying of cancer. That's how strongly she feels about it.
I know that's why I sort of preface this by saying it's not really applicable in this situation, but it was like...
I don't know what applicable means, but I
relate.
say fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know. Yeah, it was from the applicable mountains with this wine. I don't... Yeah. We totally get it. It's. By the way, this guy sucks.
By the way, did you guys grow up with boundaries, like at home? Like you were like, "Hey, this is my space" and all that, or
definitely not.
I did not.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like my mom left when I was real young. My dad was either working or off gambling the whole day, so we wouldn't see him for days on end. So it was kind of Lord of the Flies in my house.
Yeah.
It was just kind of
Yeah, if I tried to assert boundaries, they'd be like, "You're a bastard." Okay, we didn't have to raise you. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, it's. I mean, but maybe just for people like us. Well, again, we are all comics, so it's.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, parents.
We have because we weren't allowed to set boundaries as children. That's why we want to tell jokes and tell you about all of our.
Yeah.
And have no boundaries with strangers.
Yeah. Thanks, Obama.
You guys put stage 4 cancer in our hearts. You parents of comics. That's what you did.
So my final advice for
Wait,
this...
before you do final advice, let me read our comments here. Lizzie on YouTube says, "Do I need to start a GoFundMe?" Abso-fucking-lutely.
Sure. I'll contribute.
Get here. We will give you that divorce party. Joel on YouTube said, "Did he plan on getting stuck at work? How long has he done the drop off and pick up without missing?" That's a good fucking point, man. You know. Lizzie on YouTube says, "You guys are awesome. Lots of love. Have to run." We love you, Lizzie.
Oh, love you.
Thanks for watching. If you're getting dragged away to go cook dinner for your husband, just leave him and continue listening to the podcast. That's what I say.
She's going to go do something fun.
AB on YouTube says, "Hey, Suzanne, I need you to watch my kid for me."
That's great.
I'll totally watch him. I'll totally be here. And then if something happens, I'm going to call 911.
What if we give you oven mitts to pick the kid up with? Will that work?
No, because oven mitts would be worse. It's like I don't...
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to touch him with your skin. And I know that you're a hateful person. And you have no love in you, and so the whole touching another human being with your hand.
What's the Indiana Jones bit where it's like I think she's like holding a skull and it just turns to dust? That's what I think is going to happen,
right? With
your son.
It's he just
needs to be bigger.
He's going to be like, "Oh my God, I picked the wrong ant to hold me. Now my face is melting.
You are not worthy. You are not worthy."
How did I lose at Squid Game when I'm only a week old? This is crazy. Beerman OSGS on YouTube says, just on to say hello and show the support for the second of my day you deserve, my friend. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes,
appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you to all you guys for showing up. So let's go to final advice.
Yeah, final advice for this question. Again, my final advice is the same as what I said before. Again, I think that she set a boundary, and again, I think that she set a healthy boundary.
Yeah.
I think in general, she is kind of a jerk, but I don't know. The more I think about this, I think that she's not. I think that she just said her thing, and I shouldn't judge her for that. It's like she set a boundary, and also, as you guys said, she'd probably been taken advantage of so many times before.
100%.
And she said,
straw that broke the camel's back.
She said, not again, Stalin,
Yeah.
And she just pushed back. So
today I say no more. I built you 3 pyramids, Pharaoh. I ain't doing a 4th one. Fuck off. I'm going to Israel.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Yeah, I think she was. I think she justified. I think she was like drew a line in the sand early in the situation, and like he was like, "I still need help," and she was like, "Nope, I'm with mom, hanging out." So I'm with her 100%.
Yeah.
My final advice: stay away from that cursed family. Okay. Talk about drama. Just hearing about it, I'm like, oh God, so much.
Oh, it's awful.
Talk about toxic. Woo.
It's awful. I mean, I feel sorry for everybody except for the guy with the stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He gets to leave these bastards soon.
You know what's going to happen? That kid's going to do comedy. That's what's going to happen.
Oh,
that kid's going to be a guest on this podcast.
He's going to be great.
That kid's going to be a guest on this podcast.
Absolutely.
Abandonment is the best way to stage. I've said it once, I've said it again.
Kid from this question, reach out to us at loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. We'd love to have you on. Oh, Joel real quick says, oven mitts, why don't you just give her salad tongs, Jake? Jesus Christ, man. Why can't I just like CGI myself into a picture?
There you go.
That's all you guys want. Like,
we just did want to do it to promote the podcast and get Instagram likes. To be fair, you guys can't see because the camera is far away from Suzanne. She looks like she has monkeypox right now, and I'm scared for my kid.
Really?
Yeah. You look like you got monkeypox. That's monkeypox. No. Yeah. The left side there. Yeah.
I saw a monkeypox sign yesterday for the first time.
I have a zit right here. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. You'll figure it out later in the mirror.
Boy,
no, I'm fucking
with it. I feel like this whole thing's gonna be a submission for next show, right? Like, well,
now it just feels mean.
Yeah. But no, I think for my final advice, I think that the brother should clearly be the one dealing with most of this. So he does sort of have in his corner. He gets to play the cancer brother card. What you need to do is make up a more serious illness for someone in your family, and they have to skate off the whole fucking time.
Grandma's got to go.
Dude, Grandma, she's got stage 7, pancreatic Ebola.
She's got stage 7 monkeypox.
Yeah, she does. She has full-blown 800-pound silverback gorilla pox. It's fucking wild. It looks like grayscale of Game of Thrones. It's not that shit that they've been passing around the internet talking about it's going to clear up in a week. It's not. My grandma looks like that head coming out of the guy's stomach in Total Recall. She's real fucked up. I have to go take care of her. She's like Quato with none of the good advice about the future of Mars. All of her advice is incorrect.
Hey, Jake, you think your grandma has a podcast shitting on you? Like, my grandson, he's an alcoholic.
No, but she did beat me so much when I was a child that I have this podcast now. So she's very meta with her podcast skills, my grandma.
Right. She's the producer from the past.
She probably does have a podcast, but she just doesn't know how to do the whole tech part. So
she's
at the donut shop.
Yeah. She just yells in the donut shop.
She stands on a soapbox and just screams at people.
I mean,
that's the old school podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Donut Shop Chit Chat is the OG podcast. Like, that's what, those
100%.
people are, hey, what are you guys talking about? Anyway, go ahead.
It took real hustle back then. You know, you had to get people to just show up to
Gum
the
shit.
donut shop.
Gum shit. That's what it took.
Goddamn gum.
I
shit
used to be a
with sprinkles on top.
I used to be a waitress for like all these like it was like at a diner or cafe when I was like 15, and so in the mornings like there'd be these old guys and the politics of who got to sit at which table.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
I've actually seen those interactions happen before.
Yes, and
It
like
is intense.
Well, Melvin got here before me.
Yeah.
And I'm just, and he's like, can you pull up another chair? And so I'm like trying to pull up another chair because like there's like they're just like in high school. There's like the popular old guy table having coffee, then the women are over here, and then they fucking each tip you a quarter, and you're like, fuck you, like. Yeah,
that table in the corner's a bunch of fucking nerds.
They're so old people are so gossipy and petty. At least in my hometown. I don't know. Maybe you guys have grown.
No. Gossipy, petty. That's the whole thing. They started off that way. They sort of grew out of it in their 30s and 40s, and then they were like, nah, gossipy and petty's the move.
Oh, you kidding me? I can't wait till I'm 80. I'm
Yeah.
like, screw everybody. How am I still alive?
Yeah,
so much gossip. I would love that. Be 80. Think about 80 years of gossip,
Yeah, dude. You know some
that
shit.
Is, wow.
9/11 was an inside job. I was scared.
Here's what I think the
9/11, I'll tell you who did 2/11.
Yeah.
I know about all the 11.
2/11.
Yes.
Here's what I think the best friendship is it's two people that are sort of just similar in their I guess like interests.
Sure.
But they meet at 70 because then life is slowed down. They don't have much else going on the outside, so it's just coffee dates. And
No, there was a softcore porn about that in the 90s. Remember the Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood one. Bridges over
Madison County.
Bridges of Madison County.
Yeah.
They did that.
Not a love
That was
interest.
softcore porn?
Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember
I
that.
mean, there's like
Dude,
a
they
scene
get
where
naked.
she's
It
in
was a
a
whole thing.
bathtub.
It was more bathy than I needed.
No, but no. I'm just
Put
saying,
it up, punk.
but also, yeah, they're definitely not that old in that
You
movie.
don't like to see Meryl
But
naked?
no,
Take 10
it's
paces
but
and
to
draw.
me that's the perfect friendship because
Drop
it's
your panties,
people
woman.
that are a good fit for each other, and then they only meet when they're 70, and then they just get to meet and talk about their whole lives.
Yeah.
Because they've had all these experiences, and then they just like talk.
There's some woman fantasy shit right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
guys are like,
yeah.
70. Guys do that already now.
Yeah.
So it's like, why
thank
are
you. That's, to
70.
me, that's a 70-year-old version of Babysitter's Club. I'm up for it.
It's
I'm
pretty
up for
awful. Yeah. It was totally one of Clint Eastwood's shittiest movies, and he's made a lot of bad ones. Like mostly bad ones. This is like top 5 worst movies out of him. It was fucking awful. And I should have some kind of like weird love for it because I'm from Iowa, where that place is. And there's like 7 movies from Iowa. They pretty much all sucked because there's nothing in that state except for high fructose corn syrup and crystal meth. Both which I love, by the way, but they're too big of pussies.
And a baseball field.
Yeah, but that sucked, bro. I've been to that baseball field. I was mad at my grandparents for taking me there. I was like, what the fuck? This is child abuse. It's a shitty baseball field in back of a shitty house. It was like it was smaller than a high school baseball field,
It
just
so
surrounded
shit
by a
in the
garbage.
movie, too.
No, they punched it up for the movie. That was the
But
type
that's what
5
I'm saying. It
of
looks
that
shit
baseball
in the
field.
movie.
It sucked so bad. That was that baseball field's best 15 minutes that it had right there. I got to see it after without the lighting, without being mowed for a while. I got to see that baseball field minus Hollywood, and you know what? It just looked like the rest of Iowa, outside of Iowa City, which is an awesome college town where I'm from. It's like Williamsburg surrounded by a shitty state with corn in it. That was part of the shitty state with corn in it. Fuck that baseball field, and fuck them for glorifying it with that movie.
Okay. Well, I think we answered that question.
Yes.
But I'm actually going to change things up a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Joel on YouTube says, wait, I already read that. He says, Suzanne is going to smack Jake with the salad tongs. Yes. That is how this podcast ends every week. Her smacking me with salad tongs.
So we're sort of like, we're running low on time. This last question is, I don't know, not that great in my opinion, even though I picked it. So, shame on me.
Way to give it a good lead-in.
Well, but what? Let's do a quick lightning round. And so the way that we do lightning round is that we do go around the room and we each person gives an answer to the question.
But while you're reading the question, I go grab more wine. That is also part of lightning round.
So the question will be, what's a fun movie location or movie set that you've seen, or one that you want to see? So if there's a movie that's like, if this is my favorite movie, I would love to go to this location, or if you've done it, or if you've been to another place, and or if there has been like a shit one, as Jake has described, of Field of Dreams. It was no one's dream. Yeah. So I feel I'll go first to give you guys more time to think about this. So I think that mine was, and this is like a really fucking cop out, like, I don't know, chick answer, I feel, but mine was, it honestly was like when I went to Rome and saw the Colosseum, and then like with Gladiator, and then because you think about it in Gladiator, because they CGI that whole shit, so you're walking around and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna see Gladiator, and then you see it, you're like, it's really nothing like that. It's big, don't get me wrong, it's very big, but it absolutely looks nothing like what you see. But I did see Russell Crowe once in real life when he was fat. And this wasn't that long ago. It was maybe like a couple years ago. He was fucking fat.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm not trying to body shame you, Russell Crowe. Whatever. Call me fat online. Tweet at me. SuzanneLeeShep.com. Okay.
Joaquin Phoenix really won in the end in the Gladiator movie.
I think it was like for a role or something. Like he was like very, very, anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like those are the two letdowns of my adult life. I don't know. What do you guys have a?
Yeah, I got one that a movie set I wanted to go to. Like one of my favorite movies is Inception. I know you hate Leonardo.
No, but Inception's fucking awesome.
That's like
but also because I fucking love Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh,
he's great.
Oh, he's
especially in Looper. I think he crushed in Looper.
I don't care. He could.
Yeah.
He's on YouTube. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm not kidding. If that guy walked through the door, I would like cheat on my fiance every day. Like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
we haven't even had the conversation, and I don't care.
There you go.
If Joseph would have me, I would take it.
He was also dope in Batman. He was amazing in Batman.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is Robin. He's
he was perfect.
He's so great.
I never seen
I love
Batman.
him.
What? You haven't seen that one?
No. I haven't seen most of Batman.
This is the old one.
The old, yeah.
Yeah. Not new Batman.
No.
No.
I thought Matt Damon was Robin.
No,
not with Robert Pattinson. Oh yeah, and Robin's gonna be 75
for sure.
Yeah, good idea.
So edgy, it's so dark and edgy.
27-year-old Robert Pattinson and 80-year-old Matt Damon is gonna be Robin.
So cutting edge.
I'm the boy, the boy one.
What a comment on capitalism and late stage, poor people.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, but go ahead. So you're saying,
that one. I think the hotel scene is I would want to go to that hotel just because, like, when they got to the floors.
Is that the one where they do like the rotating?
Yes.
Yes.
I think going to that part and then like the dream where they're like at the avalanche or whatever, like
walking around the wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would be really, really dope.
Actually, you just like blow my mind because I didn't even really like think about, like, in my head I wasn't good enough to go to like the big scene. But I get what you're saying now. I won't change my answer, but anyway, what about you, Todd?
I don't know. I'd probably go like with the Guys and Dolls movie, the one with Frank Sinatra, or
really?
Or like West Side Story, like one of those 1950s, like because of the colors would pop and the great backgrounds, and then all the zoot suits, and then all the tough guys singing like da 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 da, and then you're like, yeah. Probably because like when I was a kid watching that stuff, but a funny thing is, like, especially with Guys and Dolls, because it was like based in Hoboken. If you go in Hoboken, it looks like a movie lot over there.
It does.
Because it's all weird.
Hoboken is very, like, it does look
white.
like if you just, like, blew in the wrong direction, it would all fall down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's surreal. You're just like, oh, is this, okay, people live here? It looks so fucking
Yeah.
fake. Not
It's
fake,
weird.
but like, yeah.
That's a good
No,
one,
I get
man.
what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That is, like, so, I thought that you would, like, be along Grant in the sense of, like, you know, say like the Tibetan monastery or, you know, wherever where they did like the, yeah.
What do you mean, Muyan? What are you saying? Like,
what's the one with, is it Doctor Strange? Where is it that they do with Benedict? Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
wait, what do you think? What, you think I'm just like the type of guy that's like,
Because I thought that you were into like fantasy and stuff.
I mean, I'm into everything. I don't know. Like, enough. Like, what? Do I look like a fancy guy? Do I give up that? It's the eyebrow ring, Todd. You nerd.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah.
He can name every character in Lord of the Rings, even the prequels. Even the prequels.
Then again, saying guys in Dallas probably makes me even more nerdier. So my bad. My bad. Spot on. Spot on analysis. Spot on analysis.
Yeah. What about you, Jake?
All right, so this was I may have missed a bit of the question because I was grabbing more wine, doing the Lord's
So,
work. As I call it.
the question is that what is the movie or TV set or location if you could go visit would be like the ideal place to go visit? So I said that
yeah, no. I caught that. That's where I thought we were going. So I just want to make sure I wasn't missing nothing. So I would go with right now, and maybe it's all the wine in me. I'm going with that car and not leaving Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They got that whole briefcase just full of wild drugs and shit. Right. That's the move. I'm going to Las Vegas with Hunter S. Thompson back in 1971 or whenever he did that. And it's, hey, some of it's going to be made up, some of it's not. It's neither one of us are going to remember it that well. That may be the spot, man. I'm thinking 1969 and 1971 with people that like both psychedelics, but not like a weird. I don't want it too hippie. I don't want it to. No, you understand, man. We just eat mushrooms out here with no shoes on, and we eat vegan, and we shit ourselves in diapers that are made from leaves. And I'm like, no. I'm not going that hard with the psychedelics. I mean, I am going that hard, but I'm also mixing it with like key bumps and liquor and whores. You know what I mean? So like that's I kind of want to go party with Hunter S. Thompson back in the early 70s. So I'm going Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. In that car while he's too afraid to stop because, God damn it, it's bat country.
I do love the dinosaur tail scene. That's
so
hilarious.
It's so good.
Yeah.
My friend and I, once we were going to get that dinosaur tail, but it was like ridiculous expensive. So we boshed that as far as
It's funny.
concerned.
Like, I watched that movie so much in high school because I was way into hallucinogens at the time.
It's really funny.
And it's all about, like, this is the most terrible taste, the most terrible place to do hallucinogens. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's all about an awful experience they had on like the wrong kind of drugs for that town. But for some reason, I fucking love that movie, and I would go there, I guess.
Can I change my answer?
Of course you can.
Godfather Part 2. Shooting at family members on a boat.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's an amazing answer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a
and
great answer.
I'm changing my answer to I want to be the guy at the dance right before I send my brother out to go on a boat ride with Todd here. I'm going to be like, I knew it was you, Fredo. Mwah! I knew it was you, Chris Cuomo. I knew it was you who told them I was groping interns and killing old people the whole time. Now go fish with my buddy Todd Montesi. I wish it was. Yeah. Give my brother the old ba ta 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 ta. Give him that shit right on the boat at the end.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, perfect. I think we answered that question. I think we answered all the
Absolutely.
questions. Super good.
Real
this
quick,
week.
Joel on YouTube says, I'd love to go to Bronson Cave in Hollywood.
Ooh, okay.
It was used. It was used as the entrance to the Bat Cave in 1966. In the 1966 series.
Nice.
I'd love to see Spawn Ranch. I don't know what that is. Where Manson hung out Oh, fuck, that's such a good answer.
Yeah.
But it's gone now. Yeah, it's all fucking condos now. Have you no respect, you fucking developers? Manson used to convince people to kill people here. It's a beloved part of history. How dare you build over it? How dare you build condominiums with Starbucks on the bottom floors, you sons of bitches? This was made for hippie cults. This was made. God put this here. God put this here for Charles Manson. You sons of bitches.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Again, we answered all the questions. We answered all the comments.
This
Thank
has been
you
an
again
awesome episode.
To all of our listeners. We so appreciate you guys. Joel, Lizzie, Amy, Bob the...
No, Beerman OSG.
Beerman OSG.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who's listening.
Thank you to our two awesome guests, man.
Commented. Yeah.
Thank you to Grant Sheffield. Thank you to Todd Montesi. Follow them, man. Go check them out online. Like and subscribe to all of their stuff. Like and subscribe to this podcast as well. Until next week, we will see you later. Like and subscribe. And again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern every single Thursday on YouTube. Later.